Yo.
Hello, everybody. This is Rock and Snap Live, and I am Rock.
What? I'm your boy Snap.
And this is, again, Rock and Snap Live. Well, you know what? We have a special guest today, and that is Mr. Omar Howard, and he will be right back after this,
This break.
So this
break.
break.
Some bills.
But you know what?
Bong.
Yeah, we got that.
You already
right
know.
back.
One love. You already know.
Welcome back. Okay, I am Rock on Rock and Snap, and this is Snap that's next to me. Speak up, boy.
What up? What? Oh, here. Piece of work right here, man. Piece of work.
Brownsville. Okay,
Welcome.
Look, guys. Today we have Omar Howard in the place.
Doctor.
Oh, excuse me.
Omar Howard.
Well, my bad.
Make sure you got to put doctor on there.
I guess because we know him personally, and I just had to say Omar. But yes, Dr. Omar Howard. He is what? Go ahead.
Oh man, he's a
book author for one, activist,
community activist.
Yes,
and and a motivator. A life coach. But most of all,
life coach.
Life coach. Life coach.
How many people are life coaches out here that claim to be life coaches?
They think they
ain't got much of a life.
They just talk coaches. Getting back, but Omar is you already know he's a friend, family member of our network, of our family. So we always had to have him back to see what's going on with him. For those who don't know him, like this is his story. So if you want to get to know him, please push that like button and subscribe and sit back and listen. Yeah,
but you know what? This is about prison life. This is what he's going to be talking to us about, amongst some other things that we might go ahead and throw in, make it interesting for you, because we're not that boring not boring at all. Are you boring?
I try not to be. Some people might say it. But guess what?
I know one day prison life is not boring. But Mr. Omar Howard, Dr. Omar Howard is going to explain and talk with us. We're going to, converse and all that good stuff. Who the hell is Dr. Omar Howard?
Me. What's going on, big brother?
Put some respect on my name.
Put some respect.
Right,
we don't want the problems.
Yes, indeed.
Who is Omar? I wear a lot of hats, right? All my hats are in one place in life. And it came from, for those that don't know me, it came from because I did 15 years in prison for like 13 major felons.
13 what?
13.
Felonies?
Felonies.
He said felons. And I'm like, felonies.
Hey, we're from the South here. East side, Decatur, Alabama. You know how we roll over here. But no, so young man, just, we can always use the excuse about not having a father figure and things like that. Of course, some of my relatives played roles in some of the things that I was taught at a young age, and stealing and lying and promiscuous, all this other stuff that you get as a young person that you probably shouldn't get, but you get it. And so when my mother moved from Auburn, Alabama, where I'm from, we came up here with with the hopes of having a better life.
Came up where?
To Decatur.
Well, Georgia.
Yeah, moved to Georgia.
Okay. Auburn, Alabama.
See, they can't speak up there.
Auburn, Alabama.
One word.
We articulate.
Yeah, so
we enunciate. Okay.
Yeah. So I was born in Harlem Hospital though, so just want to give you.
Okay.
Throw that out there. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. Whole nother story. I should have been born in Alabama, but my mother went to New York to try to hide the pregnancy.
Oh.
And ended up having the baby up there, and some things went on from the stories I was told.
That's where the good hair comes from.
Yeah. Oh, well, no. So as going my story, you'll see it's weird how everything worked, right? And I'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But just tell you, like, when we moved up here to Georgia, it was to get away from poverty. Like I lived in straight poverty, like dirt road, a little small house, probably big as this studio, and all the family.
Cold wooden floors. Kerosene.
Oh,
wood, kerosene.
I know them.
Yeah, I remember when the gas truck used to pull up and hook up.
Outhouses.
And hook up, right? Lock it in. Now, we didn't have an outhouse, thank God, but the house next door had an outhouse. And so my granddaddy, he fished a lot. He farmed. He hunted, you know what I'm saying? Had beagles, had 20 beagles out there. Dogs out there, right? And no grass, you know what I'm saying?
Gosh.
So, and we stayed literally, so if you walk out this studio, there's a street literally right there. A train track was literally right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, when I tell people I poverty, like, rats, roaches, like you couldn't set a sandwich down. It was that type of house. Like literally, you come in there like it's not even a thing. Like, hey, get out of the way, move out of the way, eat your food.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what you were used to, right? But we was rich in, my grandmother was rich in love and being the great woman that she was, and my grandfather who couldn't read but can wire a whole house, right? And the one thing that I draw from him was, even my granddad used to drink a lot. It didn't matter how drunk he was when he came to the house. He was praying every night. Every night beside that bed, he still knew how to get on his knees and pray, right?
Okay.
So these are the things I remember, but I also remember, my cousin them taking me up, stealing out the stores and game rooms and stuff like that. And so just taught a lot of crazy things. So my mother moved up here, of course, to have a better life. And so we moved up here. I was around 8, 9 years old, something like that. And what happens after that? Some of those same relatives moved up here too.
Okay.
In this apartment with me. So
Okay.
I never got out the drama. Like, I seen more violence at that time in my life in my house than I seen in the communities, right? Because it was always drinking, drugs, fighting amongst the family. Yeah, all fight. So my mother, she normally always just stayed at her boyfriend's house, and so didn't know my father at the time. So I just knew of him. Knew he was a star point guard for Auburn University and stuff like that. So didn't know, but never met him or anything like that. So you move on up, and as you become a teenager, I still had dreams of doing some great things in my life, because I remember making and I always tell people even in the book, I remember telling my grandmother that I was going to do something different in my life and I was going to take care of her, right? That was a goal. But because of the way that my family taught me, it was easy for me to gravitate people of similar personalities, right? It was easy to deal with the drug dealers and the robbers and stuff like that. And so, like I said, at 15, I caught my first robbery charge, and went right here to the first. This is a juvenile, like right up the street, literally not even 5 minutes. It's
Okay.
3 or 4 minutes. That was the first juvenile I ever went to, and for a robbery charge. Dropped out of school,
How old were you?
15.
Okay. 15.
Yeah, I dropped out of school like when I was 15, because I lost focus.
So at that time, did you think you was a grown man at that time?
No, I know I was a kid.
I know you was a kid, but
I just want some money. Well, you just didn't want to listen to nobody.
But your mindset was
get that
I'm
money.
trying to give me some money. I still didn't know what I was doing. I was just a kid having fun the wrong way, and not realizing those choices, like it was a downward spiral. Like it was just everything that I was doing was just like, I didn't realize I was just going into a slump.
to this day. Does that anytime you feel like you a bit down, do you feel like you can revert back to that sometimes?
Oh no, nah, I'm good. Nah.
Do you regret anything?
I regret that whole life, man. A lot
But
of
it
times.
turns you into someone really
Now,
special.
I'm
today.
grateful. I'm grateful for God having grace in my life, right, and allowing me to have a purpose. But I regret that life.
But that made you to why you're being a community activist.
I regret that life.
All of these things that you
regret
you
that
can't go back and change it.
No,
so,
but you asked, if he asked if I could change it, do I regret it? Yes, I do regret. I regret it because
okay,
people was hurt, right?
we understand.
Situation I was in, somebody lost their life, right? My sons didn't have a father.
Okay.
I missed a lot of time with people that I love. They passed on while I was in prison.
Yeah.
I can't make up that time. I can't get that back.
No.
Like it's nothing you can do to get that back. And so you lose way more
Yes.
in life. But I mean, I gained a lot more.
Right, exactly.
I'm in a place that my grandmother would love to see me in. Right. So
Right. But it taught you something.
but no, I'm still tortured with that though.
Really.
I can't speak for everybody else.
Right.
I'm tortured because I wanted a better life. I wanted to do something with my life. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to make
You
money.
can still go.
I
still do
I
it
went to college. I did all that.
Okay,
but
right.
You can't make up the prom.
But I'm trying
yeah,
to
I
think
feel
that.
you.
Yeah, I mean, you regret it. Yes, now that it makes.
No, he just said if it was regret. Yeah, no, I'm just talking at a place in my life. I still
Right.
struggle with that.
You
Like it's hard for
even
me
today.
Yeah, it's even hard for me to talk about my grandma and my grandparents because, like, once I went to prison, man, it's like everything just went down, man. Like, not because of me per se, but my granddad's health. My aunt died right when after I got locked up. My grandmother passed shortly, several years later. other relatives passed away. You see what I'm saying? That you couldn't, you didn't get a chance to hug them, or I couldn't even be there to mourn with them. You know what I'm saying? God, thank God that nothing ever happened to my sons. You know what I'm saying? Like, the regret part comes that you lose so much of your life and time when you out here just wilding and doing crazy stuff. Even as an adult, you could just be out here living and not even realize, man, time is not on your side.
It's not.
No,
right?
it's not.
But, and the countless people that you hurt amongst the way, right? So when he said regret, yeah, I regret it. Now, I'm grateful for where I'm at, right? But I regret the choice because too many people lose out, right? I made a statement when my sons, even my first son was born, I made a statement that I'm not going to be like my father and not be in my life, not knowing the whole situation. Right. They know the whole situation about that. So, like, the long story short, 15 to 18, I'm in and out of juvenile, wild and just unfocused, not in school, kids, depressed.
How many kids at this time? 18. 2 children.
A couple people pregnant. Several people pregnant.
Wow.
Back then, abortion was like, people try to have abortion. So, I mean, you can have situations out there and not even know. Because you just be in a place of just ignorance.
Where you think some of that come from? Because, a lot of us, our kids in our generation now is going through that now.
Peers. I mean, I think, so before
Peer pressure is what you're saying?
I think peer pressure. I think what you're taught. I think, and that's another whole story. That's a whole nother podcast.
Okay.
You start talking about how men are raised. Right.
Yeah, that's another story.
That's a whole nother story because as a man, I understand like a large amount of us was just taught wrong.
That's why I always say we was raised right, but we was taught
Whoa.
period.
deeply.
Right?
Said a lot.
When there's no stability in the house, when there's no balance, and when there's no integrity. So that's a whole nother story. Once I told you, like, just to throw something out at you. So the first time I ever had sex, I was like 5, 6 years old. I think we talked about it on
we did.
Yeah, I remember when I told y'all, like,
put that.
my cousin and uncle that was teaching me about girls, like, young, right? First time I had sex, they're standing around like, right, you're like, this is your initiation. And I'm probably having sex with like a girl who's about like 11 or 12, something like that.
At 5.
5, 6 years old.
Lord.
Well, we're gonna take a commercial.
So
We're gonna take a commercial break.
But that's why I said I didn't want to jump off there. That's a whole, that's a whole nother part.
Back with RocknSnaplive. Just stay tuned, guys.
What about what?
Dr. Omar Howard.
Bang.
What's up, everybody? I'm Rock.
And I'm Snap.
And this is RocknSnaplive.
You can catch us every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
on Eben Vision.
See you there. What?
And welcome back to RocknSnap. I am Rock.
And your boy Snap.
Yeah, and this is live. We here with Dr. Omar Howard. And so, you know what? We will go into something really deep here, but we got to, we'll be here all day long. It'll be another show. Matter of fact, maybe about the whole month. But anyway,
it's all about the name.
Yes. And
Elaborate
I'm about to get to that. Elaborate what's in the name, all in the name.
So moving on forward from what I was talking about.
All right.
Right. So when I was telling you I was born in New York.
Yeah.
So,
Harlem.
Yep. So,
Harlem Hospital.
Of course, if I was born in Alabama, my name probably been something else, Billy or something.
Yeah.
Would have been
2 names,
Damn.
Billy Ray.
Yeah.
So where did she get Omar?
So when my mother went up there, her and my aunt was looking through, I think a Muslim book or something like that, and they pulled out Omar Shahan. My middle name is Shahan.
Shahan.
Yeah, S-H-E.
Omar Shahan.
Yeah.
Because them name would not sound like you from Alabama.
Damn.
At all, right? At all, even though it was another Omar down there. Right, I don't know where he got his from, but so after that, so we moved back here, and so fast forward, as I told you, I was in and out of juvenile. Then when I turned 18, I got locked up on 12, 13 felons I was telling you about. I was locked up for murder, felony murder, 3 counts on robbery, 3 counts of false imprisonment, 3 counts of aggravated.
He went in at 18.
Yeah, went in when I was 18, got out when I was 33. So while I was in there, to me, that's where God really started showing me who I was. And
You allowed God to show you.
I definitely allowed him.
But when
I really didn't have a choice.
You allowed him at the time. One thing God is not going to do.
Facts. You allowed to
force anything.
Well, the thing is, I always look at it as I had to be set. I had to be. He had to sit.
Now, he sat your ass down.
Yeah, he had to sit me
sat you
down, and had to get my attention because
Shoot.
the route I was the route I was on, it was gonna be a, I'd have been dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tragedy.
Just doing a lot of robbing out here with the
Yeah.
wrong people, whatever. So when I got in there, I got saved when I got in the county, and God just really started opening my eyes to life. And the more I began to invest myself into my faith, he really began. And mind you, now I still, as he began to define some things, I still didn't know anything about Omar, right?
Exactly.
It just I knew I was doing a lot of things in the community. I mean, in the community of the prison, like I was mentoring the juveniles. I was heavily involved in the choir. I was heavily involved in the chaplaincy part of the program, all this stuff, right? So, moving fast forward, I was doing a lot in the prison, like especially helping people.
Now this happened when you was released. Is this what happened when you?
What was in?
I
Why
haven't got
you-
out.
And that's-
I haven't got out yet.
See, this
Okay.
that's why I want to elaborate, because me being a former in that system, when did you realize this is not where I want to be?
Oh, no.
Because it takes time. Even though you're in there, you still can do the same thing out.
When that door slammed behind me the first time, I already knew then that this ain't for me. Like it's like I woke up out of a dream. I swear to God, when I heard that clinking, I realized like I'm on some real charges.
Yeah.
I knew then, like, yo, where was y'all? It's like you wake up like, man, what am I doing?
What was you thinking?
And I remember saying this one phrase. I said, how the hell I got myself in this situation? I'm telling you, it's like I woke up out of a dream. Like, golly, man, what was I doing out there? Like, I'm tripping. Especially when like a couple of comments was made. I remember I was walking down one of the corridors, and I heard somebody holler out the doors, "Hey, young man." So I'm looking around, I still didn't know who he was. I said, "Man, what the hell are you doing in here, man? You're supposed to be in school somewhere." Man, you talking about hit me like a ton of brick, like somebody slapped me in my face with a brick. And I was just like, man, what am I doing, man? Like, yo, but I knew that I wasn't getting out in time. So anyway, like I said, get the time. Thank God I get a life sentence. And my story goes on deep there because I wasn't even actually the person that killed the person, but I'm the only one that did time.
Got you.
So
Makes
so-
more sense.
yeah, so I go down to prison, and then while I'm in prison, God started developing my personality, my character, and then how I moved, right? So I'm moving a certain way in there where I'm really trying to mentor, I'm really trying to help others find their place in life, not trying to encourage.
This is why you're in prison.
That's why I was in prison.
Okay.
So
why-
what you see out here is what you see in prison.
So how was it? What happened after you were released? What did you do?
So I got out 2007. So really, I started doing a lot of speaking before I ever got out the halfway house. They had me traveling up down the state of Georgia, speaking at schools, all type of stuff. So
Okay.
that's why I'm saying God has started developing some things in my life
While you're in
part.
prison.
So I get out 2007, December 10th, and I'm still being called to do a lot of stuff, right? Because I had already collaborated with some people while I was in prison, so they had me coming out. Clayton, matter of fact, Clayton Juvenile Court. So I'm getting out, I'm doing all this stuff. 2008, 2009, I was asked to come inside the prison system, working in the chaplaincy department, which they never done it before. I was on parole. Gave me keys to a prison. And I had just,
Been
Been in it long enough to know who you are.
Yeah, and I had just paroled out the same facility, so it was crazy because they could have stopped it. The head folks could have stopped it.
Yeah.
This is how I knew God was involved, right? And I didn't understand what God was doing until years later. So fast forward, I'm doing all this. I'm mentoring. I started a mentoring program in 2011 called Freedom is a Choice, Inc. Geared toward encouraging youth to choose.
Freedom. What is it called again?
Freedom is a choice.
Freedom is a choice.
Yes.
Inc.
Geared toward encouraging
Corporation.
youth to choose freedom over incarceration. And I started that because I worked with a lot of juveniles while I was in prison. I was working with a lot of young people while I was out, once I had got out.
Okay.
And so I wanted to make sure young African-American males see a person that looked like them, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's important.
And hopefully get them to reroute their life. Because I'm not walking around because I talk about prison like I'm honored to be a former convict.
Exactly.
Or
Exactly.
because I was in the streets, them streets ripped me of some dreams when I allowed myself to get in part of that. Prison, I seen a lot of young men lives disrupted when I was in prison. So that's the reason why, when God gave me that desire to do that, like I didn't understand it, but I was just doing it. And I get out and now I'm doing the same thing, but I wanted to make sure because I remember being in the Big Brother Sister program when I was in Alabama and I loved it. Only thing I didn't like about it was, if I look back over now, the one thing I didn't like because I always wanted a big brother because I'm an only child. So I wanted them to send me a big brother. They kept
chasing that brother.
Yeah, I wanted a father figure or something, right? My cousin, all them, they was my big brothers, but they had me on some other stuff, right? But
Go get that for me.
They were
Yeah.
helpful.
No.
They were helpful.
and so I kind of tried to shadow what the Big Brother Big Sister program by starting a mentor program and actually going out and spending time and you know, with the kids and taking them different places, because that's what they did for me. And it blew up into something different. You know, it just really
Okay.
it really blew up into something positive. So a lot of people, because a lot of mothers are looking for mentors. A lot of mothers look.
Yes, that's very important.
Yes,
And well, that's another story as well. But what is it that you taught them while when you were?
Well, I think even just talking.
Keep them out of prison. What's up?
Well, you know, you talk about keeping out of prison, but I think one of the most important parts that I've seen that worked is that you're building a relationship that they're not used to,
Yes.
and that you're a representative of love that they don't see every day. Because
Exactly.
what I tell parents when I talk to parents about love,
Their love is different.
well, relationships in general, when you're building a relationship with people, it's easy for me to just say I love you and actually showing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We always say, "Hey, I love you, baby," and he's just going out the door.
Well, love is an action word.
Yeah,
That's the issue right
you
here.
have to show affection. You have to be like at certain point as kids grow, you stop hugging on, you stop kissing on, because they be like, "Oh, mama," or "Oh, dad." No, man, I'm gonna love on you. I'm gonna kiss on you. I'm gonna hug. I'm gonna spend time with you. Like I'm chilling with you. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can chill with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband. You have to chill with your kids, like not on the homegirl thing, but you have to be intimate with them. You have to love on them. You have to hug them.
I think that's the key, because I do that all the time with my children. Even I tell them, and then I hold them on the head and I kiss them. I'm proud of you, son.
Yeah.
Because those are the words that kids and children need. You
Yeah.
know, like you said, you
Every
can say
day.
"I love you,"
They do.
but showing when you
What you said is
when
an action word.
It's an action word.
Yeah.
So you take them and you grab them. I'm proud of you and I love you. Oh man, that just feels so, and you can see it in the head.
Can I mention something? Just the other day, what was it? It was Friday. Friday evening. I went to the laundromat. Throw some clothes in the dryer. Anyway, I'm in the laundromat. Why is this woman? She's beating the hell out of her son in his head,
I don't like that.
and he's about 10, I believe. I was so close to calling 911, but no. I said, because I need to talk to her, because I the embarrassment this young man was having, and the road that he could be
The road,
taking.
the road where he's going to go, he's going to
That's
be.
what I'm trying to say. And I had to. I said, okay, no, I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to see another family getting mixed up in CPS or what it may have you. I sat down with this woman. I said, all I'm seeing is right now is that what's going to happen is that he can just pick up a gun. He starts shooting all y'all. Excuse me. Or, we don't know mentally challenge what's happening. And I don't see any mental challenge there. But I had to step in somehow to let her know
You're raising a
someone is
man.
watching you and you need to stop. Are you angry? What's going on with you? Not your son, because she's only hitting on him. The other ones, I don't see her doing this to.
Yeah, I see. Even when you're dealing with that, like it's such a. When you involve yourself in other people's affairs, it can get so weird.
It
right?
can, and I
Because-
was trying my best to try to how do I step
How
in?
you gauge it, right?
Yeah.
Or even even what we're talking about now. This goes right to what we're talking about.
Yes.
This is the reason why programs like mine and programs like One More Question and Mothers Against Gang Violence and Next Level Boys Academy with Gary, all these people, all these mentors, we have to offer opportunity. Like this,
Yeah.
if you have an issue with your son, I know some mentor programs. They may be taking, he's young, but they may be taking because, young lady, I see you and I don't want to be in your business.
Yes.
But I want to help you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, some people will accept it.
Yeah.
And because what
I
happens
ain't your
sometimes-
child. You don't tell me what to do.
Right.
because sometimes what happened is these kids, these young people respond based on what they know.
What they know. And that's why I said, in that situation, what I seen with him as a parent, as a man, if he does last, he's going to be a woman beater. It's because he see a woman beat
But
him.
that could be one. That could be one thing. He could commit suicide.
All
Exactly.
Of these things,
All the
all
things.
these things was going in my head, and I mentioned this to her. And
How
I was
did she respond to
How
it?
did she?
Well, she was like, no, she said she did explain to me how she was feeling and what he doesn't do. She got to keep saying this to him. He gets this way.
Everybody ain't made to have kids.
And I said, you know what?
You right
I
about
said,
that.
what kid doesn't? But I said, the way you're treating him right now is either he gonna come off on you or someone
One day he
else,
just gonna.
Next person
or he
gonna get it.
hurt
Next person
himself,
gonna get it.
or whatever it is. And I said, I can help you with some resources. Just let me, allow me. She gave me her number. Hopefully, she pick up the phone.
You
and
called.
call
That was
me.
good. That was
You
good.
know, I just didn't know who, but if I can
Send a text. Send a text.
send it to
Yeah,
you,
okay.
I would. Oh my gosh, I was so appalled how she kept hitting on him like that.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
This, and that's
Well,
common.
see that goes. I feel sorry for the kid, and I also feel sorry for her.
Yes.
Because see, a lot of that goes with the rejection from the father may not be in
No,
the
and
life.
this is what I'm about to say. I asked her about that. I said, "Is there a man in the household?" No. It's
That's
just
why. That's
her
why.
and the children. I said, "You know
Taking
what?
on life.
Yes."
All by
And
herself, and
all by
and she's frustrated.
herself.
Yeah, she's frustrated.
She is,
I know.
but she's doing it the wrong way. Okay,
Yeah.
how do we?
Yes.
How do I help her?
Well, that's a part of these podcasts and stuff. Like even on my own podcast, like it's based on community. So how do we offer resources to our community?
Yes.
Because like mentoring programs are so important now. That's why we're asking local government. That's why we asking our own community of people to donate money. Like if we can go spend $300, $400, $500 popping bottles and doing everything in the club.
Buying Lamborghini trucks, Lamborghini cars.
You know what I'm saying? Then we can invest back into our community. You know what I'm saying? Like
Correct.
we need more athletes. We need more superstars. Like things are a lot bigger than trying to buy tennis shoes for the whole community. Now that it does
Helps.
it does build morale to some degree.
Morale. Yeah.
Turkey drives just on Thanksgiving. But what about
Christmas
money?
gifts, yeah.
What happens when you-
What about once a month? What
Yeah.
about once a month
Damn turkey when it's all
consistently?
gone.
Because after these parents spend all this money on Christmas, January 1st they have to pay bills again.
Yep.
It actually started.
Then they're
before-
waiting on their
Actually, it started before January 1st.
Yeah.
Some people mortgage start before that. So what I'm saying is, getting to where I got out and I started doing this is because I want to do something different, and so that's the reason why I started a nonprofit, because I knew people, and I didn't even know much about a nonprofit other than I know people donate to a nonprofit, because what I want to try to do, and I still fight for that. I still want to make it where it is easy access, if there's room, and where parents don't have to be spending a hell of a bunch of money trying to get help for their kids. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, we need to really get the community. We really need to get local government and government to pour and invest into the community. Like,
Well, how we do
there's
that?
a lot of
How do we get into that? Because I know there's some people who probably want to.
well,
learn
fundraising.
to.
Like, you open up your new spot, right? Do fundraisers. Take nonprofits that you may like mine. And talk to you, but like we need to do a fundraiser, once a quarter, at least for this, or or let's donate 10% to this organization.
Okay.
Right? Because let's be for real. A lot of us, our society become real selfish.
Because a lot of people know, but don't understand how to. No, that's just
No,
some things.
it's easy.
I know it's easy because
just like you go to the bar on Fridays, you spend money. Just like you go get your nail and your hair done. Just like when the new shoes come out, you want to go buy. It's easy, right? Look up organizations, right? Don't wait till the situations to get out of control.
Correct.
And then
Correct.
don't, even as a community that's not, if you're not going through with your kids, don't wait till situations happen.
Correct.
And then, or you're sitting on the podcast, or you're sitting at home at the barbershop and you're complaining, but you're not doing anything else.
You're not putting.
You're not
the work.
investing.
You're not putting exactly.
And so look at our communities now. Our communities are going down, right? What's sad to me is that it just seems like wherever our people go at, it's like a cancer, right? So that's why you see a lot of people starting to step up now, talking about this stuff, because we're not caught. Yeah, because as an adult, right? You're trying to establish a household where you want positive things come out your house. You want your kids to go to a decent school. You don't want people in the community doing drugs. No. You don't want people here, man, recruiting your kids to gangs.
Correct.
Right? I want my kid to go to a well-established school, and I want my child to grow up and be something I like. Because everybody has a story. I'm just telling mine. You have a story. You have a story.
Correct.
You've been through things. You've been through things. The producers been through things. Everybody's been through things. The governor's been through things. Everybody's been through something. You see what I'm saying? But we just got to be more serious about our community first. You know what I'm saying? Like I've helped white, black, and all, girls and all. So
Same here.
My mentor program, even though it's initially geared toward African American youth, but kids come in all colors and fashion.
I feel like we're.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel
kids
like,
come in all colors and fashion, right?
Yeah, I feel like we always talk about our culture. Our cultures always say, remember, I said the C's, and I'm gonna break it down to you. When I say that the C's, like Mexicans and they combine with each other.
Yeah.
They get each other, they get in one house, they get in one car, and they break it down.
I love it.
Asians and Chinese, they communicate with each other. They talking, wing, 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 wing. You know what I mean? The Nigerians and Africans, they compare. They compare against this in Nigeria over here, or blacks and whites. White people coach each other. They teach, hey, Johnny, come on. No. They coach. But black people, we compete with each other. And we compete with each other, compete with the best. Not compete to make you better, but compete to think I'm better than anybody else. So we start.
But look at the setup. Musicians,
Correct.
It's competitive. I was just listening.
Entertainment.
Yeah, I was looking at Prince talking about why him and Mike was a friend. I think one of the band members said, he said, we're in competition, right?
Prince and Michael?
This is what Prince said about, why him and Mike is not
Of course,
friends.
they're in competition, but we're looking at a competition as
They were actually
think
So the point I'm making,
they're making each other better.
Point looking at,
Yes, exactly.
Then you go into sports, right? Football, basketball, everything becomes competition, right? Then you go into the hip hop community, it's competition, right? Recruiting, even down to coaches, man.
And that's why they're giving us, to me, these accolades for us to do that, because we're tearing each other down.
And just America in general.
In general.
The morale of America is just, somebody said one time to me, they said, America is the best place to live, but the poorest in morale.
Correct. I would
We've
agree
gotten that
100%.
way, right? We've gotten that way where and it's sad that in our own community, and until we as men start standing back up, right? And establish ourselves as men and get out this gangster and player and big homie and all that. Why we just can't be men anymore?
Facts.
And understand what the concept of a man is.
Do they? That's what I was about to say. Do they even know what the concept is?
Well, we got them so
there's
far.
a man and there's a man.
Well, look! When I was coming through prison, one of the things that made me cringe one time, I heard a particular comedian say, "Oh, my man got to be a little thuggish and a man."
Huh?
But think about that. Now you come from New York.
What?
Right? You okay? But it's time. But you wanted this. Look, MC Light came out with a song called what? She wanted a roughneck.
She wanted a roughneck.
She wanted a roughneck. Right.
Okay.
All right. A lot of y'all young beautiful ladies come up and you like the dope boys, right? Look how we have just pulled away from the
generals of a man.
Now, as you gotten older, you want a man. Right.
Well, I was
so some people now let me take that back.
Yep.
And see, people have a misconception of that. You still got people like, my man got to be a little gangster. He got to be a little. Okay.
No, I don't want that.
Do you know what you embrace when you say that? The term. So I was telling the kid the other day. You ever considered yourself a goon before? No. Ever let somebody call you that?
Nah.
You ever been around homeboys that call you goons, right? So I was telling a person one time. One of my partners put me onto this, and it made so much sense. He said. And y'all have heard people say that.
What?
And we don't even say that, right? We don't even stop it. He said, you ever seen Popeye?
Yeah.
Right? And I just talked about this yesterday at the prison. And you remember the goons on there?
That was the goons. Yeah.
What was goons?
There was the followers.
Dummies,
The dummies.
stupid, cavemen.
Okay.
You see what we tag our name to?
Yeah.
Right? We've already been we have accepted and embraced the word nigga. Excuse me, I might should have said.
No, you can say
We've embraced the word nigga. We know
I don't
what that
like
word,
saying the word no more.
we know where the terminology comes from, right? You got women now have embraced calling each other bitches.
Yeah.
But that's always been that way.
No, it wasn't. Not when I was coming up.
When I was coming up,
Old
I was
folks.
You heard it.
You heard it.
But
They didn't say.
you cringed at it though.
But when
like,
they said
Yes.
bitches, they was mad. But they be like, "Hey, bitch."
No. I remember back in junior high. I was in junior high. I'm hearing the other girls call each other bitches. Now, I'm not saying because it
This is what. This is what. 2000 what? Because it could have been the 80s.
no, listen.
No, when
Why
I was young, that's what they were doing, and I never did that.
I,
Okay,
but I don't know where I came from. Like,
in Brooklyn, this is what was going
yeah,
Well,
I know that in the South.
You're not in the
So,
South. South is different.
well, I don't know. For many
South is
states,
different.
you really never seen girls play like that.
I did.
But
But let me show you how it's even evolved. Let me show you how it's even involved in that. You even got men play like that now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So why do we always embrace things that degrade us?
Facts.
Why do
And accept
why
it. 'Cause
as
when we
African
do it,
Americans do we accept
other
that?
ones follow because they want to be a part. Oh,
as
you
a
see?
man,
No, we have to-
and I come in your house in front of your
gotta
wife
stop
and
that.
call you a, hey bitch nigga. Like, is that acceptable?
It's not acceptable.
And then now we don't got so bold and so disrespectful. We talk like this in front of our kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't.
It was a time when I was growing up, and I don't know about up north,
I
but
couldn't
there's a time in South, like kids couldn't even be in a circle of adults.
That was everywhere. That's everywhere.
Go outside.
Go outside. Don't come back in unless I call you. Matter of fact, when we start arguing, go in the room.
Go to your room.
Go outside.
Go outside, but you
Outside.
right. It's about to get nasty.
If you see a kid come in, get out my mouth,
grown-
right?
Get out my mouth. Are you staring? What you
we'll
staring
talk
at, boy?
about it.
Yeah.
We'll sit on TV and we'll watch all these negative shows, and we ain't even talk about how they're trying to, push us these narratives on us, right? So we're not even gonna get that. That'll shut the whole network down. But what I'm saying is to get back to get. So I don't want to wave off, And I started the mentoring program because I want to see my young men do
You want to
better.
change the narrative.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you sit in a prison, all you see is young African American males be the majority. be the majority in the
Well,
prison.
for one,
They can be what they want to be, think what they want to think. Trust me.
First of all, we know that it's systemic. It's systemic. Am I saying that right? Systemic. Okay.
Systemic racism.
Systemic
Systemic. Okay, it's systemic. First of all, it's all set up for them to go. You know, they pick and choose, and there's only people of color that they choosing to go in because it's another form of
So here's an argument.
going into prison.
So here's an argument.
What?
I kick in your door.
Okay.
I pistol whip you.
Mm-hmm.
I rape you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I should get a year in prison.
A year? Only a year?
I'm just asking. Because see, I think sometimes we play with this, right? Like, now.
It depends on your charge. If you don't for your first time,
If I stole a piece of bubble gum, I get 10 years.
That's ridiculous.
And my, other culture counterparts get a slap on the hand.
Well, we know.
Systemic. You're talking about young
community
people.
service.
You're talking about people who are doing real crime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When we already know the laws carry, armed robbery carries a mandatory 10 years. The new life sentence, you have to do a mandatory 30 years before you even consider for parole. Right?
So you're already 30 in.
So if hypothetically, if I killed your son or your daughter, right? I don't care about what other charge or time somebody else got.
True.
Because when you realistically, that family wants you dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now every blue moon you'll find somebody that's like, I forgive.
I forgive. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In my case, even though I wasn't the person that actually killed, the mother forgave me. Okay. And I accept, man, like you don't know what that did for me, right? Because I embraced my part in it. Even though I didn't do it, I embraced my part even being there.
So during that time, was you getting like hate letters or people never got nothing?
That's why I said I know God.
Phone calls?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Or your family outside getting those type of
Okay. I never went through that part. Thank God.
That's good because a lot of parents in that situation, when you come to murder, something going to happen.
Depends on the situation. Depends on the family.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me the type of families you're dealing with.
But
right?
I know family. Yeah.
And not saying that it couldn't happen because I ran back into the family members when I got out. That's how I ended up getting in contact with the mom. And I thought it was going to go somewhere different. But here's when I say God did what He did, because the brother said, "We know when you got out.
They know.
We've been following.
They was in court. Exactly.
We've been following you." When they said follow, because I'm on social media, so they've always knew I was out.
Okay.
And I ended up running to him through a crazy situation. Some dealing with one of my other partners. Now, and he said, "We love what you're doing, though.
Okay.
Keep doing what you do."
Okay.
He said, "You didn't got to look over your back." And he said, I said, "Man, I want to talk to the mom." He said, and this is what he said. He said, "Man, that'll give you some relief, wouldn't it?" I said, "You don't even understand." Because here's the thing. I prayed for that. I wanted to meet the mom. And I was able to sit down with some of the family members. I just bluntly told them what happened. And the mother said, "I never thought you did it anyway." She said, "God spoke to me in the courtroom." Wow. And me and her, until she died, what is she year? 23, December 21. She was more concerned about me and my pain for her than she was, and she died on the bed. Like, that's the type of relationship we got. And our birthday is on the same day. It's crazy.
Wow.
Right, yeah, it's crazy. So to push folks, I know our time is going to, that's the reason why I started my program. And I started also another consulting firm called Transforming Lives Coaching Consulting, because I am a life coach. I got 3 life coach certifications, and my last one was through Morehouse School of Medicine. It's just involved life coach. And I also got an honorary doctorate in humanitarianism. So I got a lot of awards from all over the place. And so the thing for me is like, that's all good.
What was the best highlight?
For me?
Besides just being free.
Right.
Because you got that kind of time. Whoa. How would I know them?
I don't know.
The way you talk about the women,
but best highlight for me is when I see a young man smile and they're not in prison. Like, the awards mean absolutely nothing to me to that point.
Okay.
Like, I had to stop because I get emotional because people don't know what's going on with them kids down there in prison, man.
I've heard some
people losing it, and then not just because of what they're going through, what parents are going through.
The parents are going through.
Yeah.
Because regardless of what you and your child go through,
right,
that's your baby.
Yeah.
And if your baby got when I heard a mother say, as their son caught a murder charge, will I ever see my son again?
That's hurting feeling. I can't.
Right? Like people don't know as a father, as a man, you know, whether it's my child or not, that's pain.
Yeah, it is.
And so I work inside the prison system. I work inside the juvenile. I see right here, Pantherville, it's a kid. He can't be no more than 4, 7, 4, 5, 4, 6. 12, 13 years old, got a murder charge. Right? Being involved in a gang.
Yeah.
He sits, his feet is up here. Like when I walk out of there, I'm like almost in tears every time I walk out of there.
Yeah.
You know, when I see some kids that I work with that didn't listen, and you know, they see him and they like, Mr. Omar, I miss you, man. Like they'll still call me, and they be like, Mr. Omar, I really miss you, man. I really hate, you know, that one. And I can't do nothing now because you have a 30-year sentence. I may not even be living in 30 years.
Yeah.
And if we do live, all of us in our 70s, 80s, right? So as a parent,
Yeah.
you have to, and now with the way the prison system now, would they even make it through it? Right.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I do what I do. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an author. I got my own podcast called Loving Our Communities. It's basically community based.
What network is that on?
It's on the Status Network.
So make sure you look them up.
And but I'm on Instagram, Life Coach Omar. I'm
Life Coach Omar on Instagram.
Yeah, Life Coach Omar. I'm on Facebook. You can look me up. TikTok, everywhere. I'm still on TikTok.
How you do it on what's the name on TikTok?
Information out. Still life coach.
Yeah, I'm still a life coach, right? Regardless,
Okay.
Even if it's just if you know Omar Howard, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm still a life coach. I believe in pouring back into my young people, man. I'm a God-fearing man too. Let me let you know off the rip. You know, I am a God.
DC.
Yeah, I am a God-fearing man. I believe God is my relationship with Christ is my number one thing that keeps me striving forward. Second thing is my family and the people that I love, my friends love. And the third is my community. Like I want to impact my community.
What you want people to remember you by?
Before we head out, go ahead. They want to know Omar, Dr. Omar Howard for a champ.
Omar.
At the end of the day, I just want to please God. Secondly, I want my community to know that He gave it 100%. You know, and if I'm not into that status. If I save just one child, if I got 100 kids that I came in contact, I pray to God I can save all of them.
My man, y'all heard
That's
it first.
100. That's 100 generations, man, that we'll lose if we hold on to the mentality of I just want to save one. I cannot live that way and feel comfortable every day. I wake up many days struggling with that because if I lose one kid to a prison, I feel like I've lost all. Right.
Well,
that's just my passion.
But we definitely going to be there. You already know you are our family member. Yeah. Like we got your back. You know, always call us up, hit us up. So like I said, make sure y'all go out there and cop the book.
Amazon.com, the Omar Howard store.
Yeah.
If you want to book me for a speaking engagement, you can reach out to me at 404-480-3235, or you can email me at hello@freedomisachoice.org. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, I'm on it.
Okay, so the Omar Howard story. You see, I didn't see you put doctor on this one, but okay. So it's the Omar Howard story. It's all in the name.
Yeah. Let me share something with you real quick.
Go ahead.
When y'all see that, see who's endorsed by.
There you go.
Who's endorsed?
The governor. The former governor did the deal.
Right.
You see that? Hey, so the big things.
It's endorsed by. He read and reached out.
Hey,
endorsed by Governor Nathan Deal.
He's a Republican. Huh?
Nathan Deal.
Yeah,
I'm a Republican.
Yeah,
yeah, I am.
I'm Jermaine. Till we go next week, man. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all follow us.
Yes.
Make sure you follow. Push that like, push that subscribe button. Like I said, we're here. Thank Even Vision and everybody's here, especially my co-host.
Well, you know what? Look, I am your lady. Well, Rock.
But before we go, our thirst thoughts. Listen.
Yes.
You can't take anyone's blueprint and expect it to work when that person built it and drew it up for them, for their perfection. Remember that. Can't follow nobody else's blueprint. Make your own.
Basically stay in your doggone lane, okay?
Hey, you already know what it is. Till next week, you already know what it is, man.
Yeah,
Rock and Snap.
Live. Peace.
What?